There was a time in my life when I thought I had to be useful, hardworking, and nice to everyone just to deserve my place, and I didn't realize it at that time, but I was slowly losing myself just to make people like me. I was 19 years old when I started working at a resort as a waitress, and honestly, I barely knew how to speak English. I could understand a little bit, but when people spoke quickly, especially native English speakers, I would get completely lost. And most of the guests at the resort were from countries like UK and the US. So imagine being 19 years old working in a resort for the first time, surrounded by people who speak English much better than you, and knowing that you're expected to communicate with them. I was terrified, not just because I didn't understand the language. I was scared of being judged. I was scared that someone would ask me something and I wouldn't know how to answer. I was scared that they would think I was stupid. So, whenever I could, I would avoid talking too much. I would clean, I would organize things. I would do whatever work I could do without having to speak too much to the guests. I was still learning, I was trying, and I really wanted to do a good job. But one day I accidentally heard some of my coworkers talking about me. They were asking why I didn't know how to speak English. They were wondering why the resort hired me when I couldn't communicate properly with the guests. And I remember thinking, well, is it my fault that they hired me? I didn't apply pretending that I was fluent. They knew my abilities when they hired me. They gave me the job. And yet somehow, I felt like I had done something wrong by being there. That conversation hurt me more than I expected because when you're young, you don't always know how to separate someone's opinion of you from your actual worth. I didn't think they're judging me unfairly. I thought maybe they're right. Maybe I really wasn't good enough. Maybe I was stupid. Maybe I didn't belong there. And I was already exhausted. I was only 19, but I remember crying almost every time my shift ended. I was physically tired from working, but emotionally I was tired from constantly trying to prove that I wasn't useless. There was also a probationary period. The manager would eventually ask the other staff how I was doing and whether I should become a regular employee. So I felt like I was constantly being watched. I thought everything I did mattered, every mistake, every awkward conversation, every time I didn't understand something. I wanted them to say good things about me. So I tried harder, I worked harder. I tried to have a good attitude, which I naturally have a good attitude. And because I knew I wasn't good at English yet, I tried to make up for it by being useful in other ways. If there was cleaning to do, I did it. If there was something that needed to be done, I tried to help. I wanted them to see that maybe I couldn't communicate perfectly, but I wasn't lazy. I wasn't careless. I was trying. But there was another thing I started doing. I started saying yes to almost everything. If they asked me to go out and party after work, I would go, even when all I wanted was to sleep, even when I was completely exhausted. If they asked to borrow money, I would lend it when I could. I was just so desperate to get along with them. I wanted them to like me. I wanted them to accept me, and eventually they did. After a few months, I adapted. I learned the environment. I learned how things worked. I became more comfortable around the people, and slowly they started treating me differently. They liked me, and I remember being happy about that. But looking back now, I realized something I couldn't see when I was 19. I wasn't just trying to become a better coworker. I was trying to become someone they couldn't dislike, and those are two very different things. I thought being nice would make people accept me, so I kept giving my time, my energy, my money sometimes, my rest, my boundaries. And eventually, I realized that I was becoming too nice simply because I was afraid of being rejected. I wasn't saying yes because I wanted to. I was saying yes because I needed that job. And that part is important, because if I didn't need a job, maybe I would have walked away, but I did need it. At that time, I was living with my sister and I felt ashamed of not being able to contribute. I didn't want to live in someone's house without being able to buy food or my own things. I wanted to earn my own money. I wanted to feel independent. So I stayed even when it was difficult, even when I cried, even when I felt like people were looking down on me. I stayed because I needed to. And maybe that's one of the hardest parts of growing up. Sometimes you don't get to choose the environment you're in. Sometimes you can simply walk away from people who hurt you. Sometimes you have to survive the situation you're in while you're trying to find a way forward. But eventually, something changed. I started understanding more English. I started becoming more confident. I started talking to guests. I started communicating. Not perfectly. Even today, I wouldn't say my English is perfect, but it's completely different from when I was 19. The girl who was terrified to speak English because she thought people would laugh at her can now communicate with people in English. I can have conversations. I can work in another country. I can express what I'm thinking. And sometimes I think about that 19-year-old girl, the one who cried after work, the one who thought she wasn't good enough, the one who was trying so hard to make everyone like her. And I wish I could go back and tell her something. You are not stupid, you're just learning. You don't have to be good at something immediately just because someone else already knows how to do it. And maybe that's what that experience taught me. Not everything painful that happens to us has a beautiful meaning while we're going through it. At that time, it was just painful. I didn't know that one day the thing I was embarrassed about would become something I'm actually proud of. I didn't know that feeling like I didn't belong would eventually teach me how to adapt, and I definitely didn't know that constantly trying to please people would teach me something about myself too. Being kind is good, working hard is good, trying to get along with people is good, but losing yourself just to be accepted isn't, because there will always be people who don't like you, people who misunderstand you, people who judge you before they know your story. And sometimes you can work harder, be nicer, give more, and still not be enough for them. And that's something I understand now that I hadn't understand when I was 19. You don't always have to prove that you deserve to be there. Sometimes you just have to keep learning, keep improving, keep going, and let time show people who you really are. When I look back at that period of my life now, I don't really want to erase it, because as painful as it was, it became part of the person I am today. The English I struggled with became the English I use today. The job I was afraid of became one of the experiences that taught me how to work abroad. And the girl who was desperately trying to make everyone like her eventually learned that she doesn't have to be liked by everyone to know her own worth. Life doesn't always feel like it's teaching you something while you're living through it. Sometimes it just feels unfair. Sometimes it feels exhausting. Sometimes you're just trying to survive the day, but years later you might look back and realize, oh, that was part of my story too. Maybe not every difficult experience has to have a lesson, but sometimes you become stronger simply because you survived something you once thought you couldn't. And maybe that's what happened to me. I didn't become who I am because everything was easy. Some parts of me were built during the moments when I felt small, when I felt judged, when I felt like I wasn't enough. And today, I can finally look back at that 19-year-old girl with a little more kindness. She didn't know much, she was scared, she made mistakes, she tried too hard to please people, but she kept going. And honestly, I'm proud of her for that. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for spending a little part of your day with me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.